Welcome to another edition of Three Dudes Brews. Three Dudes Brews is our liquid journey into crafted deliciousness. It's an appreciation of the various craft styles through our own perspectives of taste and a celebration of the good people who bring it to us. Hi, my name is Buddy Thayer. I'm happy to welcome you to this magnificent journey this month. This is it's been on my list for a while. So joining me on this amazing journey on this boat ride down the river beer, down the end there, the Greekiest guy, Costas Sangaroli. Welcome, Costas.
Yamas and Yasu, everyone. And to my left here, we have no one other than the Dr. Ed Patton on here.
How you doing, everybody?
Morning.
Welcome back to
quite a morning already, right?
It's been a hell of a morning already. So
yeah,
we are so excited to be here today. We are here with Jeremy. We are at the Guild in Pawtucket.
Back in the bucket.
Back in the bucket. I mean, this is for us not far. So two of the three live basically down the other end in North Providence. So we're not far. It's been a hell of a morning, but so Jeremy, why don't we start off with letting everybody know what the actual address is here so they can come on out.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, thanks for having me here.
Why don't we Why don't we start with who you are and where we are? And we can do that too.
Fair enough.
It's got to be.
Thanks for bringing me on to the pod. So my name is Jeremy Duffy. I'm the co-founder, managing partner of the Guild. Our main brewery is in Pawtucket at 461 Main Street.
Nice.
So you don't actually brew the beer here. You brew it at another location.
Oh no. We so this was always our original. And we'll get into how we expanded and all that kind of stuff. But this is our home, our original home. We bought the building about a little over 10 years ago. It is 131,000 square feet. Wow. So it's a myriad of different buildings. So our brew house, which you guys, if you haven't been, I'll take you over there, is in a separate building, and it has a 100-barrel brew house system, which is
100 barrels.
So it's second or third largest in New England right now. And then actually one of our sort of engineering feats, my business partner who just walked by, a smart guy who thought this through. So the beer actually travels from the brew house building, comes through the beer hall, and then right behind this wall is about a 50,000 square foot packaging facility.
Oh,
with
really?
Canning and kegging. Yeah. Jeez. So we're very, very large scale. I can get into the model, kind of how we started and evolved, but we brew on a very large scale.
It's funny too, because like I said, we've all been in here several times, and you come in and you wouldn't think that you guys have that size of an operation going on over here. I mean, there's so many. I mean, you see it around in the city, in the state. There's all these old mills and factory buildings and everything, and you never know quite what's being used and what's not being used.
Yeah,
So I get it. I mean, we roll up, and the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, this is it. This is it.
Yeah.
And this is not it.
There's so much more to it.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm in my glory in here. I'm a big dork for history, so I've been eyeballing that map in the corner over there, but I would assume that's probably early 1900s Pawtucket. I know this building dates back to pre-Civil War, 1857.
Yeah.
How does
I hope you didn't pull that out, because you nailed the.
I nailed the year.
You nailed the year.
Full disclosure, I did look it up. How does the tradition and the history of this building and the city of Pawtucket lend itself to your beers and how you brew your beers?
So I'm happy to answer that. But I want to go back to one of the things that was sort of mentioned. We've almost created a little speakeasy kind of vibe, right? You kind of come in and our whole staff is like, can we please have some signage around here? I'm like, maybe if it makes the budget. And one of the things that disappointed me about this is an incredible beer hall. I love this building, and I'll get you into the history. But one of my biggest things that bummed me out is it was separate from brewing operations. Because when real craft brewers like to go to a brewery, they like to see the shiny stuff. They like to see that.
Right.
And originally the OGs understood, because we actually had our tap room in the brew house. But when we expanded our tanks, we got kicked out, and then this became available. So I hate that disconnect because I know how much craft brewing fans like to
but
see
it's
everything.
different. It's not something that everybody else has.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a clean, nice feel. You don't get that smell of like yeast. Sometimes a brewery can smell like, you know, dirty old socks, dirty old beer. Yeah.
And I don't mind that smell sometimes, but anyway, so we were, so my family is originally from Pawtucket.
Nice.
And my grandfather owned a little pub. He was born in America, but really sort of
the painting on the wall. Duffy's down the end.
Yeah, Duffy's Tavern. Yeah. So he was born in America, but really kind of first generation. His parents were off the boat from Ireland, and he just had a cool little neighborhood pub, and that's how the Duffy started, kind of in America. And so, you know, my mother was from Pawtucket, my father's from Pawtucket, and we always were grounded here. Now they fled. I grew up in Lincoln, but it's sort of amazing to come back, right? A little tip of the cap. So those two there's a painting over here.
I saw the
Narragansett. Yeah. Those are actually in my grandfather's bar. Wow. So it's just a real tip of the cap to my grandfather. And to come back to build a business in Pawtucket, it's kind of special personally for me to do that. And I love what's happening in Pawtucket. The revitalization, you know, they're taking these old mill buildings, usually turning into condos, or apartments. But I love when we can do a 2.0 industrial manufacturing. So this building, this was the first building on the campus, 1857, home of the Haskell Manufacturing Company, which made one of the. They were the first and largest nut and bolt manufacturer in the country. And then they had like 100-year run. So all the other buildings on the campus were kind of right around the true turn of the century, 1900s. And just incredible history here. So anything that we do from a retail perspective here, or it's just like stay out of the building's way, like let it shine, let it be the story. Like at night, that wall, like where we put the lights, just the bricks dance, right? So they're just like, it's just really, really cool.
The floor too looks original, and some of the old window fixtures and whatnot. It's just appreciation for a time that's in America that's long past you know.
Yeah, we tried our best to do that. The bricks are definitely original. The wood beams are definitely original. You know, the floors probably came in a little bit later, but are pretty old. So anyways, we love it. I never get old. It never gets old.
And I'm sure you guys are like constantly finding something new. You know, you start, renovating and doing things, and next thing you know, you knock a wall down or something. And, okay. What's this now? We found another treasure. But
so this was where we're sitting right here. There used to be a wall when we first opened, and we knew it was back here, but it was an old electrical panel grid.
Oh wow!
That almost looked like NASA 1950. So during COVID, we had time, so we took it down. We knew the floors were incredible, original. We took all that stuff out because we always wanted a stage. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Very cool.
Let's
let's
dive into this beer.
Cool.
Let's wet our whistle.
What do you want to start with, guys?
Well, you want to go high?
Corner.
Yeah, your call, and then I can talk about it.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the RIFC,
which I have had many.
What is RIFC?
So RIFC is, I'm sorry, I had to take a sip there. RIFC is a traditional American pale ale.
Oh, that's good.
So, particularly in this snapshot in time right now, where a lot of people are kind of hopped out a little bit,
right,
from doubles and traditional IPAs. The American Pale Ale has had this resurgency because it gives you that tinge hint of hops, but has a low ABV profile. So it gives you kind of what you've always wanted, but it's very crushable and drinkable from that perspective. So
not overwhelmingly hoppy.
You can't crush an IPA at all. So
well,
you could, but
back in the day, I did my best.
I think Buddy's.
I've seen you crush more than one double IPA, dude.
That's awesome. And so we've also developed this specifically for our partnership with Rhode Island FC, the soccer club in Pawtucket. And
so that's the Rhode Island Football Club.
Correct. Yeah. So we, and hopefully we'll get into Pawtucket a little bit as well. Devin Kelly, my business partner, and I believe like our whole baseline about what we're building our business when it comes to the retail side is about community. Mm-hmm. And now we're headquartered here. We always say the community doesn't stop at the walls. We have to go beyond. So when we heard about Rhode Island FC, we were with them organically from the beginning. So every benchmark that they went through in terms of announcing the team coming to showing their kit to the topping off, they always had a party here.
Nice.
And like really cool celebrations. And then that turned into a sponsorship. So, of course, our big thing is we don't really care about the signage at the stadium or all that, but we wanted to have that real kind of representation from the beer because that's what we do. So that it's great. So I would assume you guys have been to the stadium. Hopefully.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So they have a myriad of different products. You think we would get our butts kicked by Modelo and all of that. Last year, RIFC Pale Ale was the number one beer by far. Mm-hmm. And I love this, is the number 2 liquid. It went Aquafina water. Rhode Island. So
that's awesome.
So the loyalty of those fans. So it's a really good kind of coming together. So we canned it obviously, and it's been an awesome partnership.
And I know you guys have done a lot of. I wasn't trying to cut you off. I know you guys have done a lot of watch parties here.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm in. It's awesome. We're staring at the wall with it. They project everything on, and I know the supporters group comes in here all the time.
Defiance. Yep.
So it's like. And from what I've seen too is, football fans, because we're going to call it football right now because you're talking, anyway, they are beyond passionate and beyond devoted.
Oh my God. Yeah.
When they find something that's working and is treating them well, they're going to treat you well. And I guarantee they're pushing sales. Because
definitely.
I mean, this beer, you can sit out there, under the sun, watching a match and not have any problems with it. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it's not the hop bomb. It's not, clawingly bitter. It's got the perfect balance, I think of just the bitter, the crisp. It finishes clean. It's like you said, the ABV is lower, and you can sit out there. You can be at the stadium watching a game, having many of these, and I have.
But
appreciate it.
Unlike it used to be back in the day, when you'd go to like a major sporting event, it would always be like macro brews. There was no local craft beer, but a lot of places are doing that now. I mean, Red Sox do, Gillette does it, Fenway does it, and the fact that like when
you were right, nothing with shades on and stuff. So
right, so the fact that like we went to the football club and we went to the stadium and it's like there's craft beer there. It's like, oh yeah, I'm having a craft beer and watching the game. Like it's great to be able to do that and support local.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the biggest part. But there's obviously craft, and you could use that from a national perspective, but to go local and really have that kind of celebration is huge. And you're right about the acceptance. I mean, if the crafts are willing to bring Treehouse into Patriots games, something's happening. And Treehouse is willing to deliver it, right? Because that's a rarity.
But having a Pawtucket beer in a Pawtucket stadium, watching a Rhode Island team play, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really important to us, and we do other themed beers for them. So we do an opening day ale as well, and then we do one for the Derby. They're trying to create this competition with Hartford for an example, and then some other celebrations. So we're willing to do a ton with those guys because they're super creative too.
Yeah, you guys. I noticed you guys also did a collab with Providence College, Friday Forever, right?
Correct. Yeah.
How did that collab come into
So I'm and I'm grateful for my partner Devin, because he didn't go to Providence, but I did. My father, from Pawtucket, was the first in his family to go to college, and really went to Providence. Really kind of leaned in to the college, really involved. We've been season ticket holders since the AMP started in 1973. So I was like, full on diapers doing that.
Providence Civic Center.
The Providence, I should call it the Providence Civic Center. I'm trying to be polite with that name. They kind of stopped changing it, but and then I went to Providence, and now I actually have a son at Providence, so third generation. So we really leaned into the college. College has given us so much in life. And so I wanted to do a little bit of a give back. So we talked to the college, and this is not an athletic one. This is actually a college one. So the college marks. So what we do is we don't really distribute our Guild Brewing Company beers really out in the market. We do for Rhode Island FC to deliver to the stadium and maybe some spot opportunities. But for the Friar one, we do a little bit more, and so all of the production profits go right to the college. So we're in 2 years of them. We do watch parties here, and so we've given a nice check to them. So and that means the world.
So I grew up a big Friars fan. My grandfather, anytime PC was playing, he had to watch it. He was a big basketball fan. And he had this notorious way of calling it PC college. And I'm like, Grandpa, it's you're saying Providence college, right? And he's like, yeah, it's PC college. I don't know, whatever. Yeah. So I mean,
so good you have to name it twice.
Exactly. I mean, we grew up down, the other end of, walking distance, basically, from the school. So my daughter is getting ready to graduate from URI. Yeah. So I told her when she started going there, I said, if the Rams are playing the Friars, I'm sorry, I'm rooting for PC.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care that you go there. That's too bad. So, hopefully, getting off topic, but the basketball program starts to turn around.
To be a Friar fan doesn't mean you have to go to the college.
Oh, exactly.
That's the really cool thing about Rhode Island. It's sort of Rhode Island's team. And that's where the coolness is. And I have, the one thing about being a Friar fan is that you're always hopeful.
Yeah.
And I'm very hopeful for the coming season, after the coaching change and some of the players coming in. So.
Yeah, let's hoping for a good one. So
what's next?
Let's move on to the next one.
You're gonna go
Warren G.
Warren G. There we go.
This is the IPA, right?
This is the double IPA. So
I love the plan.
So so to celebrate, and we can get into our so we have a location in Warren as well. A little bit more
fantastic,
of a
fabulous location.
Yeah, we were really lucky. I kind of feel it has a little bit of a beer hall vibe like this, but a little bit more dressed up and on the water. It's really incredible. We really lucked out with that spot.
Yeah.
So asked the brewers to kind of create something to celebrate it. They came up with Warren G, which is, a double, which usually, besides Captain's Daughter, which is the OG, and I love that beer. Usually a double kind of plays in the mid-level because it's just, it's just kind of where it lies with the fans. This is actually one of our largest sellers. We've gotten a huge crowd to really kind of embrace it, and it's a big beer, but it's something that people enjoy.
So the IPA surged along, so to say.
Yeah, I think our philosophy from day one was always diversity, right? Was to do the scale from a double all the way down to a lager and everything in between. And sometimes we've even gotten people have given us a hard time not having enough IPAs.
No.
Because right when the craziness was, 2012 to 2016, you had a lot of breweries that would do one IPA and then go left and right. And that's what they did. And people loved it though, right? I mean, it was just, particularly a double. It's like, it's floral. It's like, it has that citrus taste, that orange juice taste. And it was easily really enjoyable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think people have gotten a little hopped out now. But also our philosophy is very simple. It's like, we try go to the traditional beer culture, right? Which means diversity, which means being really good at lagers, really trying to create some brown ales, try and do some different things.
Love the brown ale.
But you definitely have to have your double. You definitely have to have a really solid IPA, to be able to celebrate beer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about it with everybody that you have to have certain staples. You have to. And if you don't, you're going to get called out on it. But, I'm glad to see that, like you said, that people are getting kind of hopped out. The
trying something different.
The whole thing about, everybody trying to out hop the other. For the longest time, it seemed like everybody was just trying to say, okay, well, we're going to do this amount of hops. Well, watch this. I'm going to double that. And
you put 5, I'm going to put 10.
Oh yeah, it was getting out of control. So I'm glad to see though that there is a diverse menu,
right?
And not
it's dialing back. I think,
not just a running list of IPAs.
Honestly, as a IPA drinker over the years, I've gotten hopped out myself. It's like they almost taste the same. Some of them. You can only do so many variations with so many different hops.
It becomes that a little bit.
But I love Treehouse, but like, oh my God, some of their beers are. What's the difference between this one and that one? So
it's just that whole. I mean, we have to celebrate it because really the big push of what I call the second wave of craft beer in America was, and where American craft was established was within the IPA.
Absolutely.
Completely lost what the traditional meaning of it is.
Right.
But they created their own spin and innovated, so I thought that was cool.
Because a beer always had to be clean, it had to be crisp, and it had to be clear.
Yeah.
It had to have those 3 C's, right? Clean, crisp, clear. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you get beer that's cloudy and people were like, what's wrong with this? This isn't right. This is not normal.
Yeah.
So like the IPAs, the West Coast, New England, East Coast, whatever, doubles, triples, all those different things. It was a huge boom, I think, to the craft beer community. And just it opened up so many people to like drinking different beers.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of cool. Our region can own the New England the style IPA. That's kind of cool that we and it's become the most popular. The cloudy, the hoppy, juicy. But I would also say from a brewing perspective is, you got to be careful with that too, because part of that clear and crisp was you have to. My partner always says, "What's the hardest beer to make in the world?" And he's like, "It's a Budweiser." Because you have to be consistent globally. Mm-hmm. You can't hide anything, and sometimes the brewers are not doing a great job where you can just hide a lot of junk in there. And that's not always great for our industry.
Don't cheat if you don't have to, guys. Do it right. So one of the things I do is, if I go into a place and they've got a Czech Pilsner, I'm grabbing the Czech Pilsner first, because if you can nail that and you can do that right, there's a lot of hope to be had on the rest of the menu. So interesting, because you can't hide behind it.
We've talked to many a brewmaster, and they say the same thing. Like when they go out, if they see, like they want to know what kind of master you are, what kind of skill you have, and that's the way that they judge it is with a Pilsner. Because there's no hiding behind it. Because if you screw it up, you can't add anything to it. You can't cover it up with hops. You can't add flavoring, the fruits to it.
Right.
It's either going to be good or it's not going to be good.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a beer.
Yeah.
There's no hiding behind anything else with something like that. So
good point.
And that's my favorite style to begin with anyway. So usually if I see it, I'm going to get it.
Yeah, it's a beer.
You guys have like one flagship style, one flagship beer that's here all the time.
Well, I mean, the Warren G is always on.
Mm-hmm.
Rhode Island Sea is always on. You're going to try the Nate D, because what we're trying to do, it's this little brother of the Warren G.
I'm catching the completely. I got the reference right off the bat. I'm like, oh yeah. So okay,
if lawyers come, it means Warren good times.
If Smug could get away with what they did,
then you're fine.
Everybody's safe here.
That's so funny. So the Nate D is still kind of a New England IPA style, but it's a much lower ABV. So try to have some of the same characteristics without as much hop. And again, what we're looking for is a New England crushable IPA. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to accomplish there.
So, Costas isn't like the biggest hop head in the world.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you could actually enjoy and drink all of these.
Absolutely. That definitely could.
Which is
like, I could never drink, like you love Treehouse, you love Julius, the whole Julius series. I could never ever drink something like that. My head would explode.
Yeah.
Right. But to each other.
Great boy from Olympus.
Yes. But that's my weakness. Achilles head is healed. I have hops.
I saved the last for you then. So that's the.
Oh yeah, no, I love this one. It's definitely a great beer. Now you don't brew just your own beers though, right? So you do a lot of contract brewing, correct?
Yeah. So we started, and that created a lot of brand confusion. So this is really weird. In your beginning thing, you're like, oh, I just thought you were a beer hall. I'm like, I kind of was like, oh, kind of good, because like there was a lot of confusion when we started, because the business plan was solely to be a B2B contract brewing. We saw an opportunity at that time period where a lot of great breweries, not only in New England, but around the country, were having capacity issues. Mm-hmm. And we thought we could solve that problem from a large scale perspective. So our business name, our original name is Isle Brewers Guild. And I think we had Isle Brewers Guild. We always had the tap room. We always knew we were going to do something around kind of geotourism. But then, one of our first partners was Narragansett. So it just created, you guys are large, you're Isle Brewers, you have Narragansett, like it created a lot of confusion, among the customers, where they just didn't understand us. But at first it didn't matter, because it was really about our brewing partners that we were trying to do. So so again, 100-barrel brew house system, fermentation field goes from, we only have 3 100s, 1 200, and 13 300 barrels. The 300 barrels equates to about 100,000 glasses of pints of beer. Wow. We got shot out of the cannon right away in terms of our partnerships. We had 9 brewing partners right now that goes from Maine down to New Jersey.
Nice.
From that production, we're kind of quiet about it, but there's really no wall. Sometimes we are doing more of our beers in our beer halls, but you'll see the Devil's Purse Kolsch, which is one of my favorite year-round beers. With Chair 2 is
he's like Charlie, and he's like Willy Wonka. We're in the Willy Wonka.
We're in the chocolate factory.
Yeah, we're in the beer factory.
We are.
So
we are. I mean,
being in this old building, having this 100-barrel system. How does temperature control and climate control in a building like this affect your fermentation process?
No, it's usually everything is so self-contained, right? Within the shells and the silos. Never really an issue. Even when the beer is traveling 45 yards to get to the bright tanks, which are in back, we've never had an issue. And if that comes with below, freezing all the way up to 110. If you go down to Florida, they have their fermentation tanks outside, that kind of stuff. So that really hasn't caused any issue. We wanted to make sure we kind of bought originally the best equipment that could really kind of service, and it's held up well. So we've been very happy with the consistency of that.
Yeah, do it right, do it once.
Yeah. Well.
So you guys have your hands full. You're making beer for RIFC. You got the Providence Friars. You guys doing contract brewing. Is there anything else that you guys have going on?
So we are.
Are you not busy enough? Like, did you pick up anything else?
I'll never say Devin and I are smart people because we just continue. We're like, that's a cool idea. Let's do that. So what we saw, particularly after COVID, so we've always kind of gone through themes, right? So one was contract brewing. At that time, it was really at the peak. And by the way, we got shot out of the cannon. We went into the top 100 brewers in the country in the first 18 months.
That's incredible.
Insane.
It just shot through, and now we're still in the top 75 producers out of 9,600 breweries in the country. So that was kind of phase one. The phase two was really seeing that while craft was maturing and slowing down a little bit, the community aspect of craft brewing was not going away. People, particularly after COVID, wanted places to connect, create community, have conversations, do that. And I think we've created, an unbelievable culture around that. So What we did was we built this out. We have a private event space called The Barn that does about 125 private events a year.
Yeah.
We have now a beer hall / restaurant concept in Warren. Yeah. We've had a beer garden in Providence along the Providence River.
That's only like that's a seasonal thing, right?
Yeah, but not until another month because the state built a permanent facility for us in the park.
Okay,
it was a bid. You had to go through the whole bidding process. But in 1 month, we're going to have a fourth. Well, it's a 4,000 square foot building. But it's right along the Providence River, right near that new pedestrian bridge. Oh, yeah, it's incredible. So we're doing that will be year round. We're partnering with 7 Stars. They're going to be a strategic partner of ours. So as I say, the circle of life, coffee to a pint.
Yes.
Yes. So that
a lot of places are doing that.
That's going to open up in a month, and we have so much content. We're going to do a lot of World Cup stuff, and like we've done the last 4 years, we're just supersizing it, which we're really excited about. And then sooner than 4 weeks, in 2 weeks, we're going to be opening up a beer garden in Plainville, Massachusetts. It's
like at the casino area?
No, that's on Route 1. This is 1A. So where you're like Rentham Outlets is about 3 miles south.
Okay.
So there's a bookstore up there called An Unlikely Story, which is one of the greatest named bookstores.
It's fantastic. And then they had didn't they have like the movie theater across the way that they would tie in with them?
So so the bookstore is owned by Jeff Kenny, who's the famed author of A Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah.
So he and his family moved to Plainville about 20 years ago. And he just wants to give back. And what he's trying to do is create a community-centric downtown of Plainville. So he has the bookstore. He built out this elaborate beer garden with shipping containers, with a kitchen and a bar, and
it's gorgeous.
Areas. It's very cool. And then across the street where you saw that little movie thing, that's just a prop. He took a sheet metal factory down. It's about 4 acres. He's building a restaurant and an event space, but more importantly, he's building a park. He's going to do like a walking park. And then there's a pond that probably glows at night because of the sheet metal factory. He's cleaning that up. And then the fourth spot is a parking lot, which we need parking,
right.
But there's a couple houses on it, and he's turning them into Airbnbs for authors.
Oh my God!
Because he does about 120 authors a year. So like any author, big or small, who comes to New England, they're like, we got to go to Jeff's place. Mm-hmm. And they're the greatest people. They legitimately are doing this all out of sort of community philanthropy and trying to build something special and give back. So we're excited to be a partner. Funny enough, on Friday, it ran, but the Today Show did a special on it.
Wow.
So, which I'm about to blast on our social channels, but it tells the whole story about what Jeff's trying to do. Had a couple Guild mentions in there, which was nice, but really excited about that fourth location.
So you've got this location, you've got the Guild in Warren, you got the one that's opening up in Providence near the footbridge.
Yep.
You've got what's going on in Plainville. Like, what else? Like, what more?
I told you we're not smart. Just totally trying to do this stuff. It's just so dumb.
It's great. The fact that you're able to expand and bring your products and your vision to the masses, and not just in one particular location. Like, what is it, Treehouse? Or some of the other places or whatever, they expand all the time, and they got a huge following.
We're sort of working within that model, and we're working within that model, and we're building our brand through we're building our brand through location and experiences, right? So we did from small events here and what I mean by that, under 50, 25 to 50 here, and in Warren, we have a private event space in Warren, and we have the barn. We did 550 events of some level, right? And that's what I love. I got into the game because of I love craft beer. I love craft beer when I was in college, when the first wave came, right? In the 1990s. And I've always had a passion for it and wanted to be in this community. And then I really got excited about the retail side. I really got excited about kind of building, the community around it. And now I'm really excited about placemaking. Like, how do you do unique things? And so when Jeff came to us and there was interest in partnership, I'm like, how could you not? Like, what a cool story up in Plainville, right? Yeah. So moving forward, I don't know. We need to take on these 2 openings. Within 30 days. We're going to do a lot of World Cup stuff. We're going to do like a lot of content driven stuff. And I don't know what the next one is. Every time Dev and I are like, oh, we're going to breathe for a little bit, some cool idea comes up, and we like shiny object. We're like, oh, that's good. Let's go there. So I don't know what that's going to mean yet. We're going to be doing some cool stuff with Rhode Island Spirits, which is the distillery on our campus. Yep. So we're going to continue to we're going to do collabs and diversify. Well, a lot of like Treehouse and Trillium have already gone into the distillery game, just because of where the market is.
And the coffee game too.
Yeah, and the coffee game. Yeah, we're not going to do coffee. Well, I guess with 7 Stars, but and New Harvest is the roaster, which is cool. Another Rhode Island company. Yeah. But we're gonna do collaborations that kind of make sense for the customers.
Yeah. So, folks, now if you're going up into that Rentham area, be sure to stop in. I drove by there just the other day, and it's gorgeous.
It really is.
It's a gorgeous spot. In the bookstore, we've been in many, many times. My wife and my oldest daughter, they go up in the area, and they're like, oh, these quirky little stores and stuff, so they pop in, of course, and it's a great spot. I can't wait for it to open. I know you guys you're getting ready, and you had a little spot on the news, I believe, too, promoting that, didn't you?
With the
spot in Plainville,
with the Today Show.
Yeah.
And it was just, So they, Jeff did the whole interview. And again, we're going to be putting that up on our social channels this weekend so people can see it.
Check it out.
But it really kind of tells the whole story. So
very cool.
Yeah, we're really thrilled.
So I want to take a step back. Yeah. We normally ask this of everybody that we interview. What's your first beer, and what is your fondest memory of drinking beer?
Now, as you think about that for a second,
Yes.
What is the last beer we're drinking?
Sure. So you're drinking Grumpy Old Man, which is a tip of the cap. Everyone points at me and then points at my business partner, Devin, but I think it's actually Jack, our VP of operations, that was in his honor. It's very important to, again, older styles are becoming new again.
So this is like a classic English
brown ale. Yeah, right? Exactly. Super drinkable, low ABV, but just gives you that
so much flavor.
Sort of flavor, chocolate notes. Mm-hmm. It'll do that. By the way, we're really playing in that space a little bit. So we do like a black Czech Pils as well, and we do a black IPA, which I think is super interesting because
black IPAs are great.
What you do is you get that you get the chocolate note, but then you get hit by the hop too. It's really kind of an interesting. Right. So I think the question is, what's my first beer?
Your first beer
ever?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus. It's nothing to be proud of.
That's okay.
Probably a Budweiser.
That's all right.
Probably, but I would say Bud Light. I don't really remember. I probably hated it.
Yeah.
Getting used to those tastes at an early age. And then I actually think beer itself is just the center of a lot of fun things, right? I went to Providence College, so look, it's just Providence College is run on beer. So we had a lot of good fun times, and I got friends since graduation. I was just with them in Las Vegas because we do a trip together and we celebrate, and we're still having beers and toasting and celebrating. So I'm getting back to that community aspect. It's I never say that we're egotistical enough to say that everyone just comes for the beer. They're looking for human connection, but still the beer is at the center of the table every time they're connecting.
The best and worst ideas have come around beer. And those
I want to say best ideas.
Those worst ideas usually are great stories. So. But we're gonna wrap this up. We know you've got things to do and places to be, and it's starting to fill up. So it's starting to get busy already.
Seems like a real demo that we want here. But
I'm telling you. So we want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for
thank you for your beers and your brewing and your knowledge.
And we're
community outreach.
You'll see us more and more around, I'm sure. So
beer
and so. Thank you.
And I just want to thank you guys because it's so important to continue to put beer and local craft beer to the forefront. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. So thank you.
Appreciate it. So, buddy, why don't you go ahead and take us on out?
All right, for the greatest man I know, Costas Sangarulli, for Ed Pandora, the doctor, for this lovely man, Jeremy, the brewer here at Guild Pawtucket and other locations. This has been Buddy Thayer. Bruce. Drink the beer, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Start right here in Pawtucket.
Cheers.